After months of pushing lies and peddling misinformation about the severity of COVID-19 and even doubting the efficacy of the COVID vaccines themselves, Fox News, for whatever reason, finally decided to do something good as it relates to COVID-19. They actually decided to encourage their viewers to take the COVID vaccine. Shocking, but this actually happened. So to assist them with this, they brought on country music star Brad Paisley to tell Fox's conspiracy theorist boomer audience, take the vaccine, don't be stupid. Here's just a quick snippet of the segment.
Yeah, listen, we wanted to have you on because you've launched this effort to kind of get people to get the vaccine. What prompted you to do this?
Well, you know, we've got some great plans for this summer, and Nashville, we're actually playing the 4th of July, which is going to be a really amazing sort of welcome back Nashville show on the 4th. And I've got some good friends at Vanderbilt Hospital, and a lot of people have been talking to me about this situation. I just think it's our way back. Our industry, Nashville, has been hit so hard. I mean, all of the things that we've gone through, from the touring industry being completely crippled to just the amazing ways that fans have been deprived of live music. I'm just really hopeful that this is the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I'm going to play this public service announcement and let people see it.
Empty seats can't cheer. They don't tailgate, and they don't know fight songs. Empty seats don't sing during 7th inning stretches. And they don't know stats or superstitions. There's a soundtrack for places like this, and it isn't made in a studio. It's made by you. So when it's your turn to get the vaccine, be a fan. Take the shot.
It's well done. I tell you, Brad, I do hear from people that they're either afraid of it, number one, they're not sure that they want to do it, or that they have to do it. And when you run into those folks, what do you tell them?
Well, I mean, look, obviously, this is the kind of thing that I think folks think was quickly thrown together and maybe not researched. But this is a 10-year effort on the part of these manufacturers that was luckily ready for this. We have, I've done a lot of research myself, and it's a really scary thing to think about. Two things. One is that something was thrown out there, which this wasn't. And the other thing is that this pandemic goes on indefinitely and completely changes our lives. I mean, I am so sick of wearing a mask. I'm so sick of missing my fans, and knowing that these doctors have something that can change this is something that I'm really passionate about.
I almost never say this, but I'm going to say it. Fox News, good job. That was actually an excellent, responsible, fact-based segment about COVID-19. Is that the first time they've ever run a responsible, science-based segment on COVID-19? Like, I'm wondering, because all throughout the pandemic, I've been having to counter the misinformation that they've been spreading, but yet, according to YouTube, they're the authoritative news source, but I'm not. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. They've been spreading so many lies about the pandemic that it's honestly shocking to see them say something correct about COVID-19. But since they have, built up their audience and led their audience to believe that, the official narrative about COVID-19 is wrong, well, what do you think happened? Their audience predictably revolted against this segment. So they uploaded the segment to YouTube, and as you can see, there are 4 times the amount of dislikes as there are likes. And as you can expect, the Fox News viewership sounded off in the comment section as well. This person says, the more they push it, the more I am convinced not to take it. That's definitely a very smart way to determine whether or not you should do things that are beneficial to your own health and safety. This person says maybe he can write a country song about his love for Fauci and the jab. Got him. Never let the government stick stuff into your body. Once you take it, you can never untake it. Yes, because the vaccine, according to this person, is more scary than getting COVID-19 itself. To all the people on here that gave a thumbs down, awesome. You are awake and will not be led astray. This person says, we had peer pressure from our friends when we were young to try drugs. Now we have peer pressure from famous people and athletes to jab our arm with an unknown substance. This person says, just say no. Remember that campaign? I say we bring it back. And this account is literally named Think for Yourself. I mean, it's too perfect. Hey, Brad, I've done my research too, and as a free American, I'll stick with my healthy lifestyle, vitamin D3, zinc, and exercise. For me and others, this combination has been monumental in fighting COVID-19. Good day, sir. So will he accept responsibility for all medical expenses if one of his fans has an adverse reaction due to taking it because he encouraged them to? So, I mean, you get the point. And there were a bunch of people that found it insulting that Fox News thought they had to bring on a country star to convince conservatives to take the vaccine. And, you know, the assumption to them was they're so out of touch with, like, normal people that they would expect us to listen to a celebrity. But aren't you the same folks who voted for a reality television show star to be president? Yeah. So forgive me for actually giving Fox News a pass for thinking that dipshits like you would only listen to someone who is very famous because, I mean, you voted for Donald Trump. And then before Trump, conservatives voted for Ronald Reagan. So yes, they had to bring on a country star to tell you to not be stupid and do things that's good for your own health. Perhaps that is what's needed. But I mean, between the stupidity that we just read and the greed of pharmaceutical giants who are fighting tooth and nail to block countries from the global south from manufacturing their own generic COVID vaccines for people who actually desperately want to take them, you know, it just feels like human beings aren't long for this world. And I know that saying that sounds overly doomer, and it is to an extent. But it feels like we're on the precipice of extinction as a species. And even if we know that, we're doing everything we can to accelerate our own extinction. It feels like human beings are rooting against themselves. And I say that based on the actions, right? I mean, there are very common sense things that we can do to stop the spread of a highly contagious, deadly disease. And even the bare minimum, conservatives they've fought against it at every step of the way. We lock down. Well, they don't like lockdowns. Okay, so we reopen up, but we are more cautious. We institute social distancing and require masks. Well, they don't like the masks because that to them is tyranny. Okay, well, if you don't like the masks, if you don't like the lockdowns, then the vaccines, certainly that's what's going to end the pandemic. But they don't like the vaccines either. Vaccines are bad. Okay, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's a fucking pandemic, so we don't have very many options. There are things that you do during a pandemic that's recommended by the experts and scientists and epidemiologists. If you don't like all of those options, then the default thing that you want us to do is to just pretend like the pandemic isn't a thing, and if folks die, they die. Fuck it, who cares? I mean, what's the takeaway? I mean, look at climate change, for example. We can't even solve a pandemic, but climate change, an issue much more complicated, magnitudes more difficult to solve. They don't even acknowledge that climate change exists when we're seeing more and more severe weather patterns, more wildfires. It just, again, I have this overwhelming sense of dread and doom. And it feels like human beings don't want to exist. We're our own worst enemies, right? If an alien species discovered Earth and they invaded, we'd be helping them to exterminate all of the human beings. It's just, we're stupid. Human beings might just be too stupid to survive. And that's really sad. But look at the comments. I mean, maybe we shouldn't read too much into the comments because, you know, you will definitely lose faith in humanity if you stay too long in the YouTube comment section, particularly under conservative videos. But it's just, I don't know what else to say. Maybe I'm doom and gloom, but the pandemic has truly made me lose whatever minimal amount of faith that I had left in humanity. It's gone. Now I have no faith in humanity. Any shred of optimism I felt about whether or not human beings could come together and fight climate change, that's gone. I think it's just not possible now. And I'm grappling with the implications of this realization. You know, what do we do? How do we fight knowing that human beings are so self-defeating in every fucking thing that they do, and it's infuriating? Like, how do we go forward? Knowing how self-destructive we are. And I don't know, but it's just, this is really fucking depressing. And it just seems like the pandemic is going to exist forever, and nothing will be done about climate change, and the situation will continue to worsen and worsen and worsen. And that's it. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want this to be depressing, but, you know, I can't just look at the stupidity any longer and laugh at it. This has real negative implications on not just American society, but global health. I mean, and it's frustrating that you have folks dying, begging, desperate for vaccines in India right now because their right-wing fascist government is also failing them. And in America, you have idiots with an abundance of vaccines, and they're actually free. And they refuse to take them. It's just very, very depressing, to say the least. But don't let me rub off on you. If you have optimism for human beings and you don't think that we're just marching straight off a cliff towards the apocalypse, then don't let me rub off on you. Don't listen to me if you are still hopeful. But I've been drained. My hopefulness, my optimism, I don't feel it. And I hope it comes back, but I'm not optimistic that my optimism will come back.